A learning objective is a statement that describes the specific skills or knowledge a student will be able to demonstrate as a result of completing a course or lesson. The term demonstrate is key, as it highlights the fact that an objective must describe student learning as 1, an action that we can observe, and 2, as an action that we can measure and assess. Example: at the end of this lesson, the student will be able to explain 5 advantages of a culturally diverse workforce. In this example, the action the student must demonstrate, as proof that they have learned, is to explain 5 advantages. The learning can be observed by having the student explain these out loud or in writing. Likewise, we can assess the learning by measuring whether a student does explain 5 advantages or not, and in how well they explain these advantages. One of the most common mistakes we make when writing objectives is to use the terms understand and know to describe student learning, as in, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand the advantages of a culturally diverse workforce, or you will know the advantages of a culturally diverse workforce. The problem with these terms is that you can't observe a student understanding something or knowing something, as these are thoughts, not actions. Therefore, instead of asking a student to understand something, ask yourself, what will a student need to do that will demonstrate that they understand? Is understanding being able to evaluate the advantages of a culturally diverse workforce? Or is it being able to describe the advantages? In the same way, what is meant by the term knowing? Is knowing being able to illustrate the advantages? Or is it being able to simply list the advantages? Whatever it is, objectives need to describe what you want students to be able to do as proof that they have learned. Now that we have a working definition and have identified some of the common pitfalls in writing objectives, we're now going to turn our attention to using Bloom's taxonomy, which categorizes learning into 6 levels of intellectual skill. This allows you to write objectives that lead the student from a basic understanding of a topic or subject to a very advanced or high degree of understanding. Knowledge, which is the lowest level of learning, is measured by students' ability to recall information learned. Therefore, objectives at this level may ask students to define terms or to memorize facts. Comprehension is knowing what a message means so that you can explain it to someone else. Example of objectives at this level may be for students to describe things, to identify, or to explain or summarize. Application is the ability to apply what you have learned to solve a problem. Example of objectives at this level may be for students to demonstrate their learning through example, to prepare or produce a product, or to modify information and ideas. Analysis is the ability to break down knowledge into discrete parts. Examples of objectives at this level may be for students to be able to effectively analyze a situation to solve a problem. Synthesis is the ability to bring together or assemble ideas to form new solutions. Objectives at this level ask students to organize, to plan, to construct, and to create new and novel ways of doing things. Evaluation is considered the highest level of intellectual skill. Here, objectives ask the student to assess or judge the value or quality of ideas based on a criteria. Objectives may ask students to be able to recommend a solution, to critique a proposal, to judge the merit of an idea or method, or to be able to argue or defend a position. Bloom's model is effective because it makes it easy to write objectives that scaffold the learner from a basic or fundamental understanding of concepts presented in a course to advanced or high-level knowledge. The next slide shows how the Cyber Campus Objectives tool applies Bloom's taxonomy in a way that makes it very easy to write learning objectives that you can then add to your course. The Objectives tool is based on Bloom's taxonomy. The menu allows you to select what you want students to be able to do after completing a lesson. As you can see, the choices correlate to the 6 levels within Bloom's taxonomy, allowing you to write objectives for each level. In this example, we'll choose to write an objective that asks students to apply their learning to solve a problem. After you make a selection, you are provided with a brief overview, a list of verbs for writing objectives at the level selected, and a set of examples. For this example, I will select Calculate. When you select a verb, it's automatically added to the text editor. The text editor allows you to type out your objectives, In this example, the objective is to calculate the median of a set of values using Excel. You can select different categories at any time. This allows you to write a wide range of objectives. In this example, I'll write an objective that asks students to demonstrate their ability to synthesize information. To view all of the available verbs, you have to scroll through the list. Here, I select the verb create. And as our last example, we'll write an objective that asks students to be able to create a needs analysis. After you finish writing your objectives, you can highlight the text by selecting it with your mouse and copy and paste it into MS Word or directly into your online course. You also have the option to print out a hard copy of your objectives by selecting the print button.